Darn it. Okay, well, here we go. I was really hoping to get to do this after the dishwasher was done doing its thing, because I don't want it creating a whole bunch of unnecessary background noise for us. But it's getting late, and I really need to get this graham cracker crust made, and so I'm just gonna go ahead and power through it and try and talk over the dishwasher. And you know, maybe it's not noisy at all, and maybe I'm just gonna talk like a really loud person for no reason. But it's better to be safe than sorry and try and outspeak your noisy dishwasher. And so got some recipes today that I'm super excited about. I have been so excited to make these things all week, and I have been telling everyone about them all week. And so finally, today is the day that I kind of make one of them. And so I was going to make one entree and one dessert. And the entree is going to be these dinner rolls that I made by accident one time. I intended to make bao, and I made the dough, and I realized after having made the dough that I did not have the means to steam the bao dough. So like I had a steam basket, but the basket was too small for the pot that I have, and because of that I couldn't actually make bao in the traditional sense, so I just baked it. And when I baked it, it made this really yummy, I'm like remembering that I was supposed to do all this video prep before the video, but here I am prepping while talking to you guys. But anyway, I was supposed to make this bao. I baked it so it wasn't like traditional bao, but it still turned out to be pretty good, and the dough itself turned into this sort of dinner roll, basically, is the best way I can describe it. And I was like, you know what, these would be great plain. Like when I made the baos, I put cabbage and teriyaki chicken in there, and that was really good. But I'm just like, you know what, I'm going to make this just as dough, bake it, and see how it turns out. So, I mean, it's not exactly an entree, but it's more of an entree than the other dishes that I have planned, that being the one that I'm working on right now, which is this apple stuffed cheesecake. And so I made some apple pie filling from scratch. That's in the fridge. Made that at the folks' place, and there is a strict no filming policy there, so didn't get to see the apple pie filling, but you didn't miss out on much. It wasn't a very complicated recipe. Neither is this graham cracker crust, but I'm doing this at my own place so I can film it. Nice thing about graham cracker crust is you can really make it out of anything that's even remotely crunchy. As you can see, I am using the vanilla Oreos. So this is relatively interesting because I was doom scrolling on Facebook, and I saw this recipe and it looked delicious, and I was like, I must have that in my life. And of course, like the person on Facebook, I don't know if they were like one of those people who don't like sharing their recipes or what, but they didn't really share their recipe. Someone asked for it, and they gave a list of all the things you need to make it, and just assumed that you would know how to compile those things into a cheesecake. And maybe as a aspiring baker slash chef, I should already know that, but I don't. And so I then scoured the internet for a similar recipe so that I could look up not only the ingredients, but how to put them together and compile them into a cheesecake. And I found a different recipe. And that's kind of one of my favorite things to do, is to Frankenstein two recipes together. So like, in this instance, sometimes I'll Frankenstein even more than 2 recipes together. I made clam chowder one time, and it was more like a fish chowder, and basically you just find all these recipes and puts bits and pieces of it together to make one big version of whatever it is you're trying to make. And so the thing that I did with this one was similar. I only used 2 recipes instead of like 4 or 5 or something like that, because the recipe that I saw on Facebook had what did it had? It had these white Oreos on top of it, like a crumb topping. And I was like, ooh, that's yummy. And then of course, like, cheesecakes almost always have a graham cracker crust. And so I was like, you know what? Instead of giving this a traditional graham cracker crust, which is what both recipes called for, I am gonna go ahead and give it a white Oreo crust. And so yeah, that's what inspired this recipe. That is what I'm working on right now. I have the apple pie filling in the fridge because it needs to be completely cooled before I can work with it. And then I'm about to make the crust here, and after the crust is done, I will probably wait till morning to make the cheesecake. I was gonna do it all in one shot. Like, I have the cheese, the cream cheese already out, sitting out and ready to be worked with. And so, I don't know, let's see how I feel, I guess, and we'll go from there. Either way, I'll film the whole thing. It'll just be a matter of whether or not you guys all see it right now, or whether or not you see it later on tomorrow morning or something. But at any rate, the trick here is that the recipe for the graham cracker crust called for 15 graham crackers. I don't know how many graham crackers equate to a single Oreo cookie, but like, those things are significantly bigger than an Oreo cookie, so like, I should probably put more than 15 Oreo cookies in there. How many have I done so far? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, I'm gonna say 16. So maybe do 20. I don't know. It seems like a lot of Oreo cookies in there already, but they're crumbling all over the place. At any rate, yeah, I love experimenting with graham cracker crusts and doing different things with graham cracker crusts. And I almost never use graham crackers anymore. Like, when I do traditional graham cracker crust, I use a different graham cracker similar ingredient. I'm gonna keep that a secret. It's gonna be my little secret. I use it for my very famous coconut cream pie. And coconut cream pie traditionally does not have graham cracker crust, and I feel like that's one of the reasons why people like mine so much, because I use it, I make it without a traditional crust. And so, at any rate, that is the plan. It is a stuffed cheesecake dessert, and so the crust will get finished, and then once the crust is done, we will add the cheesecake to the bottom of it, and then a layer of the apple pie filling, and then another layer of cheesecake with, in theory, what would be some sort of crumb topping on top of that. I was gonna just make a crumb topping out of these white Oreos as well, but I was trying to find a way to do it without it just feeling like a repeat of the crust. But like, if you're a crust kind of person like me, then you probably wouldn't mind having a repeat of the crust. So at any rate, I think that's enough Oreos. I don't know what you guys think. I can't see what you guys see because I keep forgetting to flip my viewfinder around. So let's do one of those bad boys. So yeah, that's what we're looking at. Shake, 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 shake the Oreos. I need sugar, and I don't remember how much sugar I need. So I'm gonna go take a look-see at my computer, which I have the recipe pulled up. And here we go. I need 1 tablespoon of sugar. That's not that much at all. I will need to melt some butter though. Should probably turn my oven on. Let's see, bake. I'm gonna set it to 425, but that's like way too hot, if I'm being honest with myself. All right, sugar. Can you guys see me over here? Not really. My blender is farther away from the camera than the rest of my cooking utensils, but I can move it so that you guys can see it do its thing. It's just a Ninja blender that makes a lot of noise and turns crunchy stuff into dust, but maybe you like seeing crunchy stuff get turned into dust. I don't know. It's probably gonna make a lot of noise though. That much I do know. All right, sugar, tablespoon. Nope, tablespoon. Yeah, did I read tablespoon earlier? Maybe I thought it was a teaspoon and that's why I thought it was so little. All right, tablespoon. Bam. Doesn't that look good? Sugary delight. Children's favorite thing. Sugar with more sugar in it. Ugh. This is a warning. Oh, nope, my blender's not on yet. All right, this is a warning for anybody who doesn't want to hear loud noises. It's about to get all blendy up in here. Honestly, don't feel like that was all that bad. All right. Let's get my springform pan out of here. And it dusted those Oreos something fierce. I feel like that was louder than the food processor. Today is sound effects, brought to you by LL Smith. Aw, man. They use adhesive at the bottom of this pan. I hate it when they do that, because now I gotta wash it. P.S. If you're somebody who makes pans for a living, don't be a jerk face and put glue at the bottom of your pan so that I have to wash it before I use it. Now, even if there wasn't glue there, I'd probably still wash it, but I'm especially gonna wash it because there's glue on the bottom of this pan, and who wants to eat glue? I don't want to eat glue. So yeah, you guys are gonna get to see the graham cracker crust formation from nothing to what it is now, and then you'll get to see the pie and the dinner rolls. And it's not really like some fancy official cooking channel. It's not like I'm over here telling you guys exactly what to do to make it and speaking enough through it, and like if you want the recipe I can put the recipe in the description or something. I don't know if you guys are here for that, or if you're just here for a good time, or a little bit of both. And it's pretty standard stuff. As you can see, I gutted 20 some odd Oreo cookies and then threw them in a blender with a tablespoon of sugar. This is my springform pan, and I'm gonna put some melted butter in there now, and then once it's all good to go, you bake it just long enough for it to be firm. The recipe suggests that you just put it in the fridge afterwards, but I have not had good luck with just putting unbaked pie crust in the fridge. I need half a cup of salted butter, and this is not half a cup. So we're gonna take another stick of butter out here. Nice thing about butter is it tells you measurements on the label most of the time. A half stick of butter looks like one whole stick. That's cool. So I'm gonna put a whole stick of butter in here. And my oven is still doing its thing. So I'm just gonna stick this stick of butter in here, stick it in the oven while it heats up. I don't have a microwave. And many of you are wondering why I'm sticking butter in the oven rather than just sticking it in the much quicker microwave and letting it do its thing. The answer to your question is I do not have one. And while that's going on, I think I'm gonna put some more cookies in here because I think it needs more cookies. So more cookies are what it's gonna get. So at any rate, yeah, well, I feel like I've already described this recipe kind of good enough. Like I said, it's an apple stuffed cheesecake. It's something that I've not made before. It feels very festive, and I like festive dishes. And the picture looked gorgeous. I'll have to see if I can make mine look even half as appetizing as theirs does, and get some good pictures for you guys to be like, woo, look at that cake, or cheesecake, or whatever cake. And yeah, I need to decide, because right now, honestly, I kind of feel like just making the dang thing. Like I was gonna make the crust tonight, and then I was gonna make the cheesecake tomorrow morning. I might at least make like the cheesecake today and then maybe assemble it tomorrow. That sounds doable. I don't know how difficult the cheesecake will be to work with after I have like let it chill, so to speak. If it's gonna be a whole big old pain, then obviously I'll regret that decision. But if it's not, then I won't. And that is the beauty of trying a new recipe. It's a little nerve-wracking because obviously I'm not trying the recipe and just feeding it to myself. I'm feeding it to other people. In fact, I'm taking it to Thanksgiving dinner. So the pressure is on, but I'm confident enough in the kitchen that I'm not too worried about it. Oh. I feel like it was doing weird things with the lid, but the lid looks locked. All right, I'm not gonna add any more cookies to that. I'm satisfied with the amount of cookies we have. Gonna see how my butter looks. Ooh, my butter's melting. Oh, my butter's not quite melted enough. So yeah, we got this going. Gonna make me some dinner rolls, and it's gonna be some good eating on Thanksgiving evening or day or whatever it is. And like I've always been seeking for the dish, like the dish that people wait for or that people request, like whenever it comes time for these holidays to happen, and they'd be like, oh man, I gotta have this, or please make that. And like as someone who makes food, that's always like the biggest compliment you could have, when people actually like go out and request certain food items of you. Like, that's awesome, you liked it enough to where you're like, hey, please make this. Like, that's good. And so that is the strive here. I love trying new things, obviously. Like, I've been obscenely obsessed with this cheesecake since the day I found it, and I've just been like, I'm gonna make this cheesecake, and it's like all I can talk about, and I keep telling people at work about it and all this stuff, and they're probably like, dude, like, unless you're gonna bring this cheesecake to work and like let me try it and taste it, why are you even talking about it? But like, talking about it because it excites me. And so once this butter melts, we can go ahead and mix it in to this here, and then once it's mixed in, we are gonna put it in the springform pan, bake it for a bit till it forms. And I'm thinking I'm gonna go ahead and bang out the whole cheesecake tonight. Like, I don't see any reason why I can't do that. I'm running low on foil, so I'm not sure. I think I'll have enough foil to cover this pan. That's one thing. I wish more pans came with lids. Seems like an odd thing to not have enough of in this world, but like pans with lids. Like, this is a springform pan. Why doesn't it have a dome-shaped lid on it? I don't feel like that should be all that difficult to develop. Maybe I should develop a spring-form pan with a dome-shaped lid, and then I can patent it and become a bajillionaire and not have to work or make videos ever again in my life. But I don't really hate making videos, and I don't really hate my job, but if I could just patent a dome spring-form pan and do that instead, I most certainly will. And as I'm looking at things in my kitchen, I have a bunch of waffle cones left over from something that I made, and I'm left wondering, like, I wonder if I could make a good graham cracker crust using waffle cones. Like, that sounds like it would be legit. I think our butter is about ready. I am going to take it out and see if I can stir it to the rest of its melty satisfaction. Do remember to take things out of the oven using an oven mitt. When I first moved in here, I did not have oven mitts, and I think what tricked me is I had made something in a pan, and I was used to the pan handle not being hot, and I put the whole pan in the oven is what it was, so the pan handle was very hot. Pulled it out, burned the truck out of my hand, and it hurt like a lot. And so then I went to the local pharmacy and requested burn gauze, detach all, some transport tape, you know, the kind of stuff that like everybody knows about, except like nobody does because I'm in hospital supply chain, and so I know all these things by brand name, and everybody at the pharmacy was looking at me like I was nuts, so I had to go find it all myself. And long story short, I patched myself up and my hand is fine and I can feel things again, but for a very short period of time there, it did not feel fine and it was hard to feel things. But moral of that story is always use oven mitts when you're taking stuff out of the oven. Seems like a no-brainer, but I done did it. I'm sure other people's done did it, and other people's will continue to done do it, and we're gonna learn from those lessons. Here's my really hot butter. I'm gonna pour it in here. Blah, 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 blah. I'm gonna mix it up until it makes a sand-like texture. That's what the recipe said. Mix it up until it's like sand. So, hot butter, meet Oreos and sugar. Oreos, sugar, and hot butter make me sand. Alrighty then, let's see how sandy that looks. Ooh, Sandy, could you be together today? Alright. I work my food a lot with my hands, so I'm washing my hands constantly because you want to respect your guests and work with clean hands. So anytime I know that I'm going to be working the food directly, I give myself a solid hand wash, and then we're gonna go back at it. So we've got our Oreos, our sugar, and our now melted butter all in this here Ninja mixer. We're gonna transfer it to the pan. It kind of fell out before I was ready for it to do that. And then we're gonna keep doing this. Keep doing it. Come on. Get every last bit out of there. I hate leaving food behind. And then we're gonna try and mold it here. I almost feel like there wasn't enough butter in there. I probably put too much daggum cookies in there, which is another reason why it helps to bake it. It will be more liable to form into a solid thing if you bake it together. I've messed about with graham cracker crusts on multiple occasions, and some of them are really nice textures, some of them are not so nice textures. This one feels kind of loosey-goosey, and that's probably because I was winging it with the amount of cookies that needed to go in here. so I don't know if I put too many cookies in or not. But that looks pretty beautiful, pretty gorgeous. See if I can tilt it your guys' way without completely ruining it. Voila, give you a little Vanna White. All right, we're gonna bake this for all of like, oh hey look, my oven's ready. We're gonna bake it for like maybe 8 minutes. We're gonna monitor this very closely. We wanna bake it so that it stays together as one, but you don't wanna like overdo it so that it's a big old brick at the bottom of your cake, because nobody likes biting into bricks. Mostly like dentists might like it when people bite into bricks, because then they gotta go get seen and get a whole bunch of work done, but most people don't like doing any of that. So we're gonna try and avoid making bricks. And we're here, we're already messing with it, so I am just gonna make the whole daggum cheesecake right now. Let's see, make the crumble topping, apple pie filling cheesecake in a bowl, stand mixer fitted with a paddle, combine all this stuff. Okay, so let's see, I need this cream cheese, which I already have, powdered sugar, vanilla extract, cinnamon, ginger, and nutmeg. I'm not actually going to put all of those seasonings into the cheesecake, because I already put all those seasonings into the apple pie filling, and I feel like that's just going to be too much. Like if I put it in the cheesecake and in the apple pie filling, then it's all just going to taste like the same thing, and variety is key. And so you want your cheesecake to taste differently than the other stuff you're putting in it. If everything that you put together in a combined recipe tastes exactly the same, then it doesn't have much purpose being there, if that makes any sense. So I will just do the vanilla extract, which I think is in my little to-go bag. So I took it over. Yep, here it is. All right. I'm getting low on vanilla. Vanilla, Philadelphia cream cheese. I have a stand mixer. Not exactly the kind of mixer that they recommended using, but it's the mixer I have. So it's the mixer I will use. Let's see here. Put that there. Plug this in here. Voila. All right, can you see the mixer? Voila, mixer is there. Anyway, vanilla, cheese. What else do I need? Powdered sugar, I already brought over here. I forgot to call it out though. Powdered sugar. All right, eventually we're gonna need heavy whipping cream. So, let's see. Bala, 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 bala. How much of these things do I need? 24 ounces of cream cheese at room temperature. This cream cheese has been sitting out for a while, so it's probably growing mold, which means it's definitely room temperature, what we need. Ooh, yeah, look at that, it's soft. It's real soft. A cup and a half of powdered sugar. Okay, that makes me feel better. I was like, where's the sugar in this? Because I did not know for the longest time that cream cheese wasn't something that's just inherently sweet. And I made a cheesecake recipe one time, and they didn't put a lot of cream cheese, or they didn't put a lot of sugar in the cream cheese, and it was just gross. And I was like, what happened to this? And that was the day I learned what cream cheese tasted like. So I ain't never really eaten it that much. Plain anyway, like I eat tons of cheesecakes, but plain Jane cream cheese ain't something that I play along with very often. So there's one bucket, and then let's get ourselves another bucket. See how this feels when I get down to editing, and whether or not I decide to add like background music or something. I don't know if the silence is boring or if it's welcomed. And like, I feel like I talk enough to where there's not too much dull periods or periods of silence going on. But here is brick number 2 on the cream cheese thingy. And this is the 3rd brick. These are 8-ounce bricks. Yeah, so 3 8-ounce bricks make for 24. That's why math is useful. Actually hate math. Well, hate's a strong word. I find use in math, but gosh, did I hate having to do like algebra and all that crap. I'm like, really? I feel like, I don't know that to a degree I use algebra, sure, but like I don't use it as often as I might have been thinking I was going to be using it. A lot of those really high educational maths, like I feel like people only use them if they're like math teachers who are forced to teach these higher levels of math. Ooh, but hey, controversial opinion. Maybe math is more useful than I think it is, but I just do the basic stuff to get me through the day. 8 times 3 is 24. And I needed to know that because I needed to know how many ounces or how many boxes of this cream cheese to buy. So it says to combine all this stuff and then mix it all together. I'm gonna mix the cream cheese first. I still got some flour on this mixer. Let's dust that off because I didn't need no flour in this recipe. So do this little guy going against the grain here. All right, so where's my phone at? I'm gonna get some shots for the Instagrams. Trying to film several videos at once here. Oh, that thing's really going. You spin me right round, baby, right round, round, baby, right round, round. Ain't nothing really going on, it's just spinning at this point. All right, let's get a rubber spatula. Where's I think my pie crust is good. I almost forgot to check on it. But it looks solid. Solid. Smells good. Smells like pie crust. Actually, it smells like vanilla Oreos, but what's the difference, right? All right, rubber spatula. That's what I came over here for originally, was a rubber spatula. All right, good. Rubber spatula. Scrape them sides, because whenever you do anything with these silly mixers, all the stuff just goes to the side and it just hangs out over there, and then it's like, whoa, I just want to hang out on the side of your bowl. Sorry, Mr. Cream Cheese, can't do that. I need you to actually mingle with the other guests. All right, cool. There we go. I'm gonna sit that there for now. All right, so let's go put the rest of the stuff in there, mix it up real good. And let's see here. How much vanilla do I need? 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract. There's my clock, but I already took the pie crust out. Turn that off. Nope, turn the timer off. I don't know if I need the oven still on or not. I'll leave it on for now. Sometimes I leave the oven on all night and I wake up and my kitchen's really warm and I'm like, hey, I left the oven on, and then I turn it off, and that's how that goes. Anyway, let's see. 1 teaspoon, 1. 2 speed. Oh, I was supposed to record that for Instagram. Well, I didn't. You guys saw it though. YouTube sees everything. So, let's get some more footage for the gram. Nah, it doesn't know what it's doing. So we'll help it along, and it's gonna just spin idly again. I love it. I have a strong feeling I'm gonna have to stir this recipe. I have a strong feeling it's just gonna need to be stirred. This isn't gonna get me where I wanna be, because it keeps just flying to the sides of the thing and saying, you silly Jilly. All right. And like that's just gonna stick to the sides. All right, cool. All right, now powdered sugar. How much powdered sugar I need to put in this bad boy? 1.5 cups. So let's get a 1/2 cup. And I'm gonna do 3 1/2 cups. We're using math again. Well, what do you know? There's a lot of math in cooking. Come here, you. Alrighty then. I'm gonna cut the corner of my powdered sugar. You know, I just opened this because I just bought this, but I really think I already have an open bag. So now I'm gonna have 2 open bags in the pantry. Whatever. I'll use it. Or maybe I won't and I'll just be wasteful. Let's try not to be wasteful, actually. Being wasteful don't feel good. Feels like dirt. All right, cool. There is 1/2 cup of powdered sugar. And, oops, spilled some on the countertop. Cooking ain't cooking if you ain't making a mess. That's what I always say. 2, actually that's probably the first time I've ever said that. Though I do make a mess every time I cook. That is accurate. And 3. Bam. Now we've got ourselves powdered sugar. Where's the rubber band at? I like to rubber band these. Try and get all the air out of the bag so that you don't get air in the bag. All right, let's do another round on the blendy blend. See if I can get some cool shots for the reels. And record. Blendy blend. I'm on sugar. Sugar. Powdered sugar. Powdered sugar is playing a bit better of a game, but it's still hugging the sides. It really likes some sides. It's starting to look a little bit more like something. Let me get a spoon. I'm gonna have to get in there and get after it myself. Sometimes it is better to use the hands of the human being than to use the tools that have been given to us. But that's okay, because the hands are just another tool that's been given to us, technically. Bloop, bloop. All right, cool. Let's get these little guys out of here, because there's a whole bunch of gold on these here batter whisk things. Like playing the drums. Yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna put that back on there or not. I don't think that that was the right tool for the job. They did specifically say stand mixer with paddle attachment. I ain't got me one of them, so I'm gonna use my hands. And we're gonna stir it up real good. This is starting to look more and more like cheesecake batter. Come here, you. Got some cream cheese trying to hide on the side of the bowl still. It's all vanilla-y and chocolatey. And yes, this here looks tasty. All right, let's see, what else do I have to add to that before it's ready to go? Let's see here. What does it say? To make the cheesecake batter, you combine the cream cheese with the powdered sugar and the vanilla extract. All those seasonings that I decided not to put in there because it seems redundant. Cream together on medium speed until smooth and creamy. Then slowly add 2 tablespoons of heavy cream while continuing to mix. Add half of the cooled, oh, nope, not gonna do that either. All right, cool. So, we will challenges of getting these reels because I can't really hold the bowl, get a good shot, and stir at the same time. I need a third pair of hands. Ooh, I got cream cheese all over my phone now, and that just looks goofy. All right, well, that's not gonna make the reel. And now I need a napkin I have a tripod that I can put this thing on, but it's the same tripod that I got you guys on right now. So, all right, cool. Lovely. What am I doing? All right, half and half. I don't think I need very much of it either. Half and half is such a difficult thing for me to work with because I don't have to use it very often. No, it's not even half and half, it's heavy cream. Even worse. Anyway, I don't have to use it very often, and when I do use it like this, where I need, what, 2 tablespoons of it, and then it just sits in my fridge and grows mold. And so I either need to find some more recipes that require heavy whipping cream so it doesn't grow mold, or I just should throw it away now. Bit of a tablespoon, where you at? Here's a tablespoon, I do believe. Okay, I need 2 of them. 2 tablespoons. It also technically says I'm supposed to be whipping this while I add it, but as we've just experienced, my whipper snapper is not as whippy snappy as I need it to be. Ooh, which is fine. This is a fine tool that I got here. Just, it ain't the right tool for every job. This thing is turning into cream cheese. Well, no, it's already cream cheese. It's turning into cheesecake, whatever that means. All right. So, let's see here. All right. Let's do it again. Whoever said that you need to add this while mixing was just trying to sound fancy. You ain't need to do all that. You just mix it and it just turns out fine. Yeah. Sounds silly. I don't know if you guys can hear it or not. Let's get in there. Can you hear that? I don't know if you can hear it or not. I feel like every time it makes a good sound, I'm talking and you can't hear it because I'm talking over it. All right. This is kind of interesting because it's like It's almost like icing, but it's cheesecake. All right, let's see here. Mix fully until good. Assemble the cheesecake. Pour the cheesecake. All right, yeah, that's donezo, fam. I'm gonna get a little picture video of this cream cheese mixture. It's one thing about filming these things is I am like, what's the point in this video right now? I can't start it. All right, so this is where we begin to layer our dessert. Actually, no, can't do that. So I just remembered a very important thing. That pan is still hot. The pan that we just took out of the oven with the graham cracker crust on it is still hot. And if I put the cream cheese that I just made on that pan, it will melt and become a very gross, messy pile of gross. So I can't move any further until the pan that I took out of the oven is completely cooled. So what does that mean? That means that I will more than likely have to wait till tomorrow to finish this little venture. But since I did all this work right now, I at least only have to I at least only have to assemble it all tomorrow. Since I've already done most of the heavy lifting, all I'm gonna have to do is assemble the pieces tomorrow and we should be fine. So I wanted to do it all in one night. I could not. I'm at least glad that I caught that before I made a fatal error and made a messy cheesecakey debacle. So I'm gonna try and get all this stuff together. And like I said before, I don't know how difficult this will or won't be to work with in the morning when I go to work with it, but that is where we currently are. I'm trying to get this all together so it feels like one happy family of cream cheesy goodness. This is something I can do with one hand and record. That's what you got to do to get them good reels. You got to figure out what you can do with one hand and recording. And this looks ridiculous, but if I put it in ×2 speed and with the right music, people will be like, wow, he's really working that dough. I'll be like, heck yeah, I'm doing all the work right now, even though everybody on YouTube knows that I did a whole bunch of nothing right there. Anyway, all right, so yes, thanks for stopping by. This was not deep and philosophical like my videos are sometimes, and I hope that's okay. Like, all we did was we got together and we made some stuff, and I'll probably just put all these videos together into one, so like this whole adventure will just be one big video. So when you see it, I'll probably just cut immediately to tomorrow morning when I'm meeting all this stuff together, marrying it together or whatever. Should taste some of this. I really want to taste it. All right, you pulled my arm. I'm gonna taste it, and then I'm gonna put it away, and then I'm gonna turn you guys off, and I will see you again tomorrow. What is up with this cord? All right, and I don't have any spoons in there. Pro tip for any chef out there: it's a good idea to taste your food before you serve it. Does my cheesecake taste good? That's very good. That is excellent. I like that. All right, where'd my foil go? I'm gonna get enough foil to cover this pan, because I have a feeling. All right. I'm almost out of foil, and so I'm gonna have to repurpose my foil. You know, this happens to me every year at Thanksgiving. I am running out of one thing, and I don't realize it till it's too late to go get more. It's almost midnight, so I can't go to the store and get more foil. Obviously, I can't go to the store tomorrow and get more foil, so I'm gonna have to make do with the foil that I've got. But yeah, that has been cheesecake making. We'll do the assembly tomorrow. It will be graham cracker crust, layer of cheesecake, apple pie filling, layer of cheesecake, crumb topping, done topping, and we are ready to serve and eat this dish, which I am beyond thrilled about. And then we will do some dinner rolls. So I'll see you guys tomorrow, and I hope you like cooking.